Hello TLV fans, it's been a little bit since I've done a TLV and I ordered this one from Japan. Let us hope it doesn't have a bunch of paint rash. If you get TLVs, I highly suggest you open them immediately because the paint needs to breathe, or the casting needs to breathe. If it's sealed in the box forever, and this probably applies to all die casts, I think there's a lot of paint rash going on. I think a lot of gases or something in the metal want to leach out over time. So it's always best to remove them from the packaging and let them breathe. Okay, so this is TLV LV-88 Suzuki Fronte SS 360. I'm not sure if it's front or fronte or fro-nt. Anyways, alright. Standard TLV packaging, nice and minimal. It's such a small car though. It looks big, but this packaging, but it's because this is a K-class car. That 360 means it's a 360cc engine, and I've had motorcycles with bigger engines than that, so, but this is a different time. I'm reading some Wikipedia stuff here. This thing came out originally, the front 360 sedan came out in 1967, but the front S360 came out in 1968, and then this one had 26 kW or 36 PS, so somewhere in the 30s as far as horsepower goes. This was the quickest K-class car of it yet, meaning it only, let's see, in 400 meters it would take 19.95 seconds. I mean, I don't know how fast Usain Bolt really runs, but I have a feeling Usain Bolt could outrun this car. Okay. This is a promo pic of Sterling Moss. He's a really great legendary race car driver. And so Suzuki had this thing where Sterling was going to drove this car, and then a Japanese motorcyclist, a TT winning motorcycle racer, Mitsuo Ito, was going to drive this guy. And they drove it from Milan to Napoli, Italy. It's called the Autostrada del Sol. And it averaged 76 miles per hour, or 122 kilometers per hour. That's pretty darn good for a car with only 360 cc's. I do believe some lawnmowers have more power than that these days. Okay. So it's interesting to learn. I had no idea, first, that this car even existed. Second, that Sterling Moss drove this thing in a race. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure TLV must have done that red car, and I'm sure that thing's worth a lot of money. But I'm cool with this. This green here is just normal green. It's not a metallic green. Boy, my camera, my phone here, always makes it look brighter than it really is. When I look at it with my own eyes, it's not like a vibrant green. It's much paler or darker. Okay. So TLV here with the old vintage wheels does a good job. You know, they're hubcaps or something. Or maybe these are, actually I think these are probably cast aluminum wheels. There should be air passing there, but I can understand that not happening. I do like that the treads, you know, aren't looking too off-roady. So here, I guess this was originally done in 09, tells what the car is. Well, it doesn't say SS. Okay. This racing stripe set here looks pretty good. SS is legible. There's some nice silver paint around this. This is a vent because the engine is in the rear of this car. It's, I believe, a inline 3 back here. It's also a 2-stroke. So, you young kids might not know most engines today are electric. And if they're not electric, they're 4-strokes. But 2-stroke is a highly polluting type of engine technology. Alright, anyways, this door handle here sticks out, and it recesses for the fingers, and then it says, you know, well, actually, let's see, I don't know. I don't know if that's legible. I'm gonna guess that's supposed to say Suzuki, but I'm not seeing it so much. And then there's an outline below it, and then there's a little reflector marker. So those are all printed on. Then we have a separate chromed plastic bumper with a blank license plate. Nice headlights, you know, they're translucent, and they're not just circles, they're actually like teardrops, but horizontally. And then this badge here in the grill looks, I don't if that's accurate or not. It's not to the photos. Well, it's accurate, I think, to the Sterling Moss car, the red one, but not the green one I pulled up. Article on Wiki was saying these turn signals are the same as the tail lamps, just a different color. We'll see in a moment. Nice grille detail. They're like canted, you know, they're not vertical. They're actually chevrons, kind of. So it's neat. A little bit of a panel gap here. A little too much paint there. Alright, some silver around the windshield looks good. And sadly, there's the paint rash. But I think for a model this old, well, I don't know. The question is, when was this green made? When was this released? If anyone knows. Otherwise, I'll have to look on Japan Booster and guess. If this is actually from around 2010 or something, then that's, I think, pretty acceptable. If this was made last year, that's not cool, man. Not cool. Alright. Nice that the window is actually missing there. You can see the interior a little better, and they even painted a little green for that little bit of a frame there. I'm now noticing there's a silver stripe here for the rain gutter, and also a little silver trim mark there, or it's a vent, I think, on the real one. This side, yeah, pretty much the same. Then the rear, somewhere, got the engine back in there. This looks like a tab for the base, but it's the white license plate of this one. The SS is nicely printed. The taillights are chrome plastic with a little red over them. And then I'm guessing these are just some red reflector dots. Maybe some hinges or something. Those bumps. Separate chrome bumper. I don't understand what this would be for. Maybe it's a backup light. Because obviously, right? Little tiny exhaust tip. It's part of the metal base. Right? That must be the sump or something. And then I think it says front there, but it's on a curve. I do believe it is there. It's just wrapping around that bend. So, a little silver around the rear window as well. Nicely done. And this one has a nice interior. It's not just black. Let me get the flashlight. We got the brown sill. I think the carpets are brown. Yeah, and there's actually like a transmission tunnel or something. Although I'm not sure why the front would have a transmission tunnel if the engine is in the back. Steering wheel is nice color too. It's a brown rim. I can't figure out if the arms are silver. I think they're black. Yeah, a little too much light getting in there. And then some gauge details. The glove box has a little button on it. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. The front seats have some ribbing. Same with the rear seats. No complaints there. This one has no suspension. It's a pretty small car. I can understand why. Frankly, I'm not sure why, you know, these little toy cars need suspension. It just raises the cost of the car, the model that is. Alright, pretty cool. Pretty cool little K-Class car. So let's look at a couple other small vehicles. So it would have been competing against the Honda N360. This one is done by Konami. And oddly, this Konami does have suspension. But these Konamis are like $6, I think, when they're brand new. Here's another Konami. It's called the Honda ZGS. I think it's the sportier version of this. So I have a feeling these two could have been competing against each other. And then Konami also makes the Suzuki Front Coupe. And it says Coupe GX on the bottom. So this one came along later. A little suspension on that too. Konami did a good job, you know, again, factoring in the price. But this thing also has a colored steering wheel. And this one actually has, I think, transparent rear lights. Let me see. Yeah, it has plastic lights, front and back. Whereas this one was painted. I think this one's painted as well. Yeah, they're separate plastic lights, but they're not translucent. Alright. Another competitor would have been a Subaru 360. This is Subaru's first car, and this is made by Dido. Although I customized this. I put some different wheels on and repainted the interior. And actually I repainted the thing as well. So these are all 360cc cars from the 60s and 70s. To give you a sense of scale, here's an Audi R8 from Kyosho. So now you get an idea how small this is. I should have probably brought a truck, but my bad. Okay, let's look at two more Suzukis. BM Creations has this great Suzuki Cappuccino. And what's nice about that one is that you can steer the wheels. It also has a second set of wheels. You can raise and lower the ride height. There's metal grills as well. And then this last one is the Suzuki Wagon R by a brand called Toyosha. It's an alright one. Not the greatest. It's kind of along the lines of Konami or Kyosho. Alright, let's get this guy spinning up on its own. Alright, so another great TLV. I like the little classic cars that they do. And again, I get to learn about real things. So I think it's funny that, you know, Sterling Moss is driving around this little 330 horsepower car in a race, you know, when he's used to driving F1 cars. I mean, he was probably maybe reading a book while he was racing. He could probably drive it with one hand. I just can't imagine it would be very challenging for him, but I guess he must have been paid well. Okay, well, thanks for watching today. I'll see you the next time I get a TLV in. Bye.